Although there are plenty of large, powerful predators on this planet, large predator attacks on humans are relatively rare. Most large predators don't view humans directly as a food source, and most large predator attacks on humans are due down to desperation or curiosity. Of course, certain places are more dangerous than others, and some countries are renowned for their dangerous wildlife. If you travel to some of the countries with more dangerous wildlife, you might be able to find an animal attack hotspot. This is an area where animal attacks on humans are relatively common, or they're at least a lot higher than the standard rate. There are quite a few factors that are needed to create an animal attack hotspot, as first you need an area with dangerous wildlife, then you need a large population of humans, and these areas usually have some form of animal-human conflict. In this video I will be focusing on some of the world's most dangerous places when it comes to wildlife, as I will be going through 3 of the world's most dangerous animal attack hotspots. Strangely, to start off this video, instead of heading to a very specific location, I will be focusing on a country as a whole. Even though most people view Africa as the most dangerous continent when it comes to animals, Asia is far more dangerous, and the majority of large predator attacks on humans occur in India. India is home to 72% of all the large predator attacks on humans, and it is home to some very dangerous animals. I know it sounds strange to name India as a hotspot, as it's not really a location and it is a giant country, but it seems that wherever you go in India you have the chance of running into a dangerous animal, and different corners of the country have problems with different animals. One of India's most famous predators is the tiger, and for centuries these predators have been known for attacking and killing humans. In the wild, these predators mostly target large mammals, which often come in the form of deer, boar, and buffalo. The Bengal tiger is very well adapted to deal with these prey animals, but it's not very well adapted to deal with rapid urbanization. One of the reasons why there are so many animal attacks on humans in India is simply because India's population has been growing so rapidly over the past few hundred years. As cities expand, they often encroach on wild areas, and this simply means that there's not enough space for wildlife to thrive. This often creates a lot of animal-human conflict, and results in a lot of large predators attacking and killing humans. In India, tigers are often known to take down livestock, and in some cases the farmers will try and take revenge. This of course doesn't help the tigers' situation, as their numbers have been decreasing rapidly over the past few hundred years. Although there are 2 subspecies and plenty of populations, there is only 1 species of tiger. The tiger is currently listed as endangered, and certain populations have already gone extinct due to poaching and human conflict. Wild tigers that have had no prior contact with humans will actively avoid them. However, tigers cause more human deaths through direct attack than any other wild animal. Most attacks are provoked attacks, where the tiger is aggravated or surprised, or if a mother tiger is approached with her young. In some cases, tigers will start to view humans as prey, and this of course is a very dangerous situation. In 2022, police in India shot dead a tiger that killed at least 9 people, and the hunt was carried out by at least 200 police officers. One of the tiger attack hotspots in India are the mangrove swamps of Bengal, and these swamps reach into Bangladesh too. It's estimated that around 20 people are killed by tiger attacks in this area every year, and this area is home to over 100 Bengal tigers. If you find yourself walking in these mangrove swamps, it's important that you look out for tigers, but these aren't the only big cats you need to look out for in India. The Indian leopard is a leopard subspecies that's widely distributed on the Indian subcontinent. Like the tiger, their numbers have been negatively affected by habitat loss and fragmentation, as well as poaching and human-leopard conflict. Once again, one of the main reasons behind human-leopard conflict is urbanization, as humans have encroached on their land and the leopards have started killing livestock. Even though the sight of an Indian leopard may be terrifying, every year more leopards are killed by humans than humans killed by leopards. On average, nearly 400 leopards are reportedly killed yearly in India, and this is nowhere near the number of humans that are killed by leopards in India. Indian leopard attacks may have peaked during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and this coincides with rapid urbanization. Attacks in India are still relatively common, and in some areas of the country, leopards kill more humans than all other large carnivores combined. Between the years of 1875 and 1912, more than 11,000 people were killed by leopard attacks on the Indian subcontinent. Of course, these numbers are a lot lower nowadays, and this is mostly due down to a decrease in the leopard's population and a decrease in the population of their prey. In the early 20th century, one male leopard was said to be responsible for 400 fatal attacks on humans, and this leopard was eventually shot by a hunter called Jim Corbett. Man-eaters such as this are extremely rare nowadays, but there is also another large mammal in India that is known for causing problems. The sloth bear is also known as the Indian bear, and it is a medium-sized bear that's native to the Indian subcontinent. Despite its frightening reputation, it is not a highly carnivorous bear, and instead most of its diet is made up of fruits, ants, and termites. Even though this bear is not necessarily a large meat eater, it does definitely know how to handle itself. It has to deal with all of the other large predators in India, and in some cases Bengal tigers will directly target them. These tigers will hunt them by waiting near termite mounds, and then creeping up behind them and seizing them behind the head. India's competitive ecosystem may be the reason behind this bear's behaviour, as it is known for being one of the most aggressive extant species of bear. Sloth bear attacks on humans are relatively frequent, but these bears are not trying to hunt humans. Sloth bears likely view humans as potential predators, and they possibly treat us in the same way that they treat tigers and leopards. Most sloth bear attacks on humans happen when the bears are startled, and then they attack the humans out of fear or self-defense. There was one famous bear that was known as the Sloth Bear of Mysore, and this bear was known for being extremely aggressive and was responsible for the deaths of at least 12 people. This bear was at large all the way back in 1957, and it was eventually killed by an Indian writer called Kenneth Anderson. Kenneth was first made aware of the bear when his friend's son was killed by it, and after 2 failed hunts he eventually killed the bear. During this time even more people were killed, and this just goes to show that even though this species isn't a large bear, it still is an extremely dangerous one. These 3 creatures are just some of the reasons why India is known as an animal attack hotspot, and I haven't even included dangerous reptiles such as the saw-scaled viper and the various crocodiles. And I haven't included the dangerous herbivores either, such as Asian elephants. So even though it's a bit of a cheat including a whole country, I think it is fair as there are so many animal attack hotspots inside India. But for our next animal attack hotspot we will be heading southwest, as our next area is the island of Réunion. This island is an overseas department and region of France, and is around 425 miles east of Madagascar. This island is home to an active volcano and many beautiful landscapes, but as it is an island ecosystem it doesn't have many large predators. It has a few native bat species and a few endemic reptiles, but a large number of this island's animals are introduced. There are no large land predators, and as you might be able to guess, the danger comes from the sea. Fatal shark attacks on humans are extremely rare, and there are normally only 5 to 15 fatal attacks that happen each year. For most people, these facts don't help the feeling when you're swimming in open water, and even though shark attacks are so rare, I wouldn't recommend swimming off the island of Réunion. This island has a population of less than 900,000. Yet it is an area where a relatively large amount of shark attacks happen. There have been at least 27 fatal shark attacks here since 1913. And from 2011 to 2016, 16% of the world's fatal shark attacks happened off the coast of this island. Almost 50% of the shark attacks that happen off the coast of Réunion are fatal. And of course the main culprits are the bull shark, the great white, and the tiger shark. It's unknown exactly why there are so many shark attacks that happen here, but it's thought it could be because of where the island's situated. It's in the middle of a so-called shark highway, which is where sharks migrate between Australia and South Africa. These 2 countries have waters that are dominated by sharks, and large sharks are known to often hunt around these countries. At the moment, this is the leading theory, and shark attacks became so frequent off the coast of Réunion that they even had to ban swimming and water sports around the island. So even though shark attacks are extremely rare, if you are afraid of sharks, it's best not to go to Réunion. But for our next animal attack hotspot, we will be heading northwest, as I will be focusing on the state of Alaska. Now this state is in the extreme northwest of North America, and it is known for being the wildest state. Alaska is home to more than 3 million lakes, and it is also home to the largest forest in the states. These large open areas are the perfect space for wildlife to thrive, and this is part of the reason why it's an animal attack hotspot. Alaska isn't a hotspot because there are plenty of conflicts between animals and humans, but it's a hotspot because of the wildlife that lives there. A lot of the animals that you can find in Alaska are large, and this is especially the case with the predators. You can find black bears, brown bears, and polar bears in Alaska, and all of these bears have been known to kill humans. Alaska has a relatively small amount of large cities, and a lot of people in Alaska live in relatively wild areas. This means that you're more likely to come into contact with wildlife than you are in other states, and this means that the chance of being attacked by a wild animal is also higher. Alaska makes up over 29% of bear attacks in the United States, and this makes Alaska the most likely state to be attacked by a bear. In January of this year, a polar bear killed a boy and his mother in Alaska, but eventually the bear was shot and killed by another resident. Strangely, it's not just the predators that you have to look out for in Alaska, as a man was killed by a muskox here in December, and ungulates kill around 440 people each year in the US alone. So even though it's definitely not the most dangerous animal attack hotspot in the world, it is home to some of the most dangerous predators. I'd still just like to point out that animal attacks on humans are still relatively rare, but I have found it very interesting researching areas where most attacks happen. If you think you know of any other animal attack hotspots, then let me know down in the comments below. But thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. But until next time, goodbye.